Today on Public Eye News, the U.S.-Canada Ambassador Bridge reopens after police clear protesters, and police arrest a man suspected of stabbing 11 people in Albuquerque.
Later, Ava Sahoyan will have your weather, and Michael Cudahy will have your sports. Hi, I'm Madeline Plattenberg.
And I'm Michael Cudahy, and this is Public Eye News. Tomorrow's jury selection for a trial could determine contractors' liability for lead contamination in Flint's water supply. Veolia, Northwood, and Lockwood, Andrews and Newman, known as LAN, are being accused of not getting the city of Flint to treat the water being pulled from the Flint River in 2014 and 15. Veolia and LAN deny liability. Veolia has said that they did have a contract with Flint, but it was for other issues in Flint's water treatment plant. The state of Michigan is currently paying $600 million out, and $400 million of which will go to those that file claims against the city of Flint. There is no safe level of lead as it can harm brain development. And Saturday, a fire at a local Dearborn mosque prompted officers to investigate, where a 37-year-old opened fire on officers before fleeing. With the encounter ending in Detroit, Ahmad Taqi would later exchange more gunfire with officers, where he was fatally shot in the neck. No one knows what prompted Taqi's behavior, but the mayor of Dearborn suggested it may have been mental health issues. Detroit and Metro State Police are investigating the shooting. And the Ambassador Bridge has finally reopened after Canadian police peacefully arrested many of the protesters that shut down the bridge. The bridge handles about 25% of the trade between the United States and Canada per year. 7 vehicles were towed, 5 were seized on the Canadian side of the border. The protests shut down many automotive plants on the Canadian side and reportedly drastically damaged the local economies of Windsor and the neighboring area.
In Hancock, Michigan, more than $1.1 million in grants have been awarded to 17 coastal management projects and programs in Michigan. According to Michigan's Department of Environment, Great Lakes and Energy, the funding will help protect, preserve, enhance, and wisely develop the state's coastal resources. Recipients of the grants are located across Michigan, using the funds to perform a feasibility analysis for nature-based shore protection and restoration, to start developments of design and construction plans for boating sites on Saginaw River, and to install a barrier-free kayak launch. Metro Detroit freeways closed down Sunday after 4 multiple vehicle crashes injured at least 17 people, according to authorities. Crash sites and lanes reopened by Sunday evening. The National Weather Service warned of continued heavy snowfall between Interstates 96, 696, and 94 with near-white conditions. The large 50-car pileup took place on I-94 with 1 person in critical condition, with others in stable condition. Ian Lee, meteorologist with National Weather Service in White Lake Township, said areas with the heaviest snowfall include I-96 and 696 corridor. In Oxford, Michigan, the federal government will pay $360,000 to local authorities who responded to the shooting at a Michigan high school. 4 students were killed and more were injured on November 30th, 2021. The U.S. Justice Department's Emergency Assistance Program will cover expenses related to the immediate response at Oxford High School. U.S. Rep. Alyssa Slotking said a large majority of the money is going to the Oakland County Sheriff's Office, being given to any first responders who helped Oxford. Ethan Crumbly has been charged with murder and other crimes, while his parents face charges of gross negligence. After this break, we will be back with your national and international news.
This is the largest movement of living things on Earth. And every predator in these waters knows it. It's a mass migration of sardines. Why they gather is a mystery. But the result is a feast that will sustain an entire coastline of creatures.
Wednesday night at 8 on WNMU-TV.
Welcome back. The Coast Guard is searching for a downed aircraft off the coast of North Carolina. The single-engine Pilatus PC-12-47 crashed into the water approximately 18 miles northeast of Beaufort, North Carolina. Debris has been found, but the aircraft itself has not. The search includes boats, a helicopter, local firefighters and sheriff offices, and the local national park beach crews. And a man in Albuquerque has been arrested on suspicion of stabbing 11 people while riding a bicycle around the city. Tobias Gutierrez was charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. A police spokesman said that the stabbing seemed to be random. The first stabbing came at 11:15 in the morning yesterday. Victims were taken to different hospitals due to the stabbings being around the city. Thankfully, only 2 are in critical condition. And it's the first weekend you won't need your vaccine card to eat out at most places in Minneapolis or St. Paul. A drop in COVID cases has led to the cities dropping their requirement last week. WCCO's Kirsten Mitchell spoke with some.
Are you all still doing okay?
When the Twin Cities vaccine mandates first came down January 19th,
How's the Baja Splash?
staff at Fair State Brewing in Northeast Minneapolis say business went up.
It's like 99% positive.
Despite both cities lifting the mandates, beer tender Doug DeVries says they're going to continue to require vaccinations or a negative test.
They're coming here because they feel maybe a little safer.
He says the staff feels safer too.
I've got 2 unvaccinated infants at home, so it's like just one more layer of protection so that I'm not bringing that home to them.
Other businesses like French Meadow Cafe say they're down 65% in sales since the mandate took effect. They're hoping a busy Valentine's Day turnout will help them regain what they've lost.
During the mandate, some restaurants like St. Paul Bagelry turned to takeout only. Now that the city mandates are lifted, it'll be up to private businesses to make their own rules, if any.
I think it made sense at the time. I mean, I have always been a fan of kind of the rather safe than sorry. I have people in my family that are immunocompromised, and so I would rather err on the side of caution. But it seems like that has passed, that wave is over, and I think if businesses are comfortable with it, good for them.
In Minneapolis,
There you go.
Kirsten Mitchell, WCCO 4 News.
Ontario's premier announced today that Canada will lift its COVID-19 proof of vaccination requirements in 2 weeks. The U.S.-Canada border crossing was opened today after police removed the last of the protesters that had blocked Ambassador Bridge for nearly a week. The trucking protesters persisted in the capital, Ottawa. On March 1st, the requirement that people show proof of vaccination to be allowed into restaurants, gyms, and sporting events will be dropped. The 50% capacity limit on restaurants was also dropped on Thursday. With infections rising, Hong Kong announced last Sunday that they will be offering COVID-19 vaccines to children as young as 3 years old by Monday. The city reported there were 2,071 new cases, finding 4,500 more initial positive cases the next day. Due to the Omicron variant, there have been a wave of new restrictions that include limiting in-person gatherings to no more than 2 households and banning public dining after 6 p.m. The Chinese maker Sinovac's vaccine will be distributed to children 3 and above on Tuesday. Ukrainian forces are currently doing military exercises of their own right now, but they would be vastly outgunned if Russia were to attack. Holly Williams is in Kyiv with the latest.
Good morning. This is the U.S. Embassy here in Kyiv, from where all American personnel will be withdrawn in the next 48 hours, according to our sources. Meanwhile, Ukraine's government continues to urge calm, and life goes on here pretty much as normal. But make no mistake, people are worried. A farmer's market on Kyiv's John McCain Street. The late senator is loved in this country, in part because he pushed America to send weapons to Ukraine. A Russian invasion could cause up to 100,000 civilian casualties, according to US officials. These are the people in the firing line.
We just live in the moment, and that's all.
Alina Kumbachsia is a fitness instructor who says nearly 8 years of Russian aggression has made Ukrainians immune to panic.
We don't know what will be because this is not our decisions, and we don't want war.
Ukraine is now close to being encircled by Russian forces. And there's fear these intimidating military drills are a prelude to the Russians moving in. It's thought an invasion could start with airstrikes. Kyiv's subway system also serves as the Ukrainian capital's biggest bomb shelter. The government of Kyiv says it has an evacuation plan, as well as preparations for maintaining electricity, heating and communications in case of an attack. Back on John McCain Street, Konstantin Belotserkivsky told us he already has an emergency bag packed in case he has to run from a Russian attack.
The worst thing is you feel helpless, you know, so it's just a matter of is it happen or not. And that's it. The only thing you can do is wait.
Ukraine's demanded an urgent meeting with Russia in the next 48 hours, but says Moscow's ignored its request to explain why it's massed roughly 100,000 troops on Ukraine's border. Holly Williams, CBS News, Kyiv, Ukraine.
After this break, we'll be back with your weather and sports.
In the event of a lockdown, there are simple steps to take that will keep us all safe.
Some people will say, oh, it's just some kid playing. The problem is we can't take that risk anymore.
It feels very scary. Sometimes I don't want to come to school because I think I might not come home the next day.
So were you suggesting and perhaps somebody should have been armed and killed somebody?
Ready! Fire! The building lockdown drill is now over.
Tonight at 10 on WNMU-TV.
Welcome back to Public Eye News. My name is Ava Sahoyan and I have your weather for today. Looking behind me at campus, you can see it's snowing, kind of cloudy today. Not a great walk to class. Current conditions are mostly cloudy with a temperature of 18, winds out of the northwest at 10, and a pressure of 30.27 and falling. Tonight it's going to be mostly cloudy with a low of 1, winds out of the west-northwest at 7 miles per hour. Tomorrow, we're looking at cloudy with snow showers, a high of 22 degrees, and winds out of the south at 15 miles per hour. Right, across the UP, starting in Sault Ste. Marie, we have current temperatures of 11 degrees and cloudy. In Manistique, we have 18 degrees and partly cloudy. Escanaba, 18 degrees and partly cloudy. In the Menominee, it's also 18 degrees and partly cloudy. Moving over to Iron Mountain, it is 16 degrees and sunny. Ironwood is 12 degrees and partly cloudy. Houghton, 16 degrees and snowy. And in Marquette, 17 degrees and partly cloudy. Moving on to later this week, Wednesday is a high of 36, a low of 9, and temperature is cloudy. Thursday is a high of 12, a low of -2, looking cloudy. Friday is going to be a high of 19, a low of 6, snowy. Right, and we'll go to Michael Cudahy for sports.
And the Super Bowl was last night. The LA Rams faced off against the Cincinnati Bengals in SoFi Stadium. The Rams ran to a rapid lead ahead at halftime, 13-10. The Bengals then battered the Rams badly, passing the Rams by scoring 10 points in the third quarter to lead 20-16. Quarterback Matt Stafford then led the Rams down the field in the fourth quarter with the confidence that he had gained by trailing game after game in Detroit. Cooper Kupp caught 2 of Matt Stafford's touchdowns, including the game winner. Arguably the best player in the NFL, Aaron Donald, helped rush Joe Burrow to throw an incomplete pass, causing a turnover on downs. And finally, getting that elusive ring for himself, Andrew Whitworth, Odell Beckham Jr., Matt Stafford, Jalen Ramsey, and Eric Weddle, who came out of retirement for this championship run. And back in August, the city of Glendale said that it would opt out of its lease with the Arizona Coyotes, which left the Coyotes searching for a home for next season, and the Coyotes are going back to college. Arizona State University has a Division I men's college hockey program that currently plays in a 5,000-seat arena. With the Coyotes moving in and retrofitting the arena to accommodate NHL teams and requirements, seating could go down to as low as 3,200 by some estimates, less than the Barrie Event Center by over 1,000 seats. And the United States women's hockey team will look to defend its 2018 gold medal Wednesday against Canada. Canada beat Switzerland in the semifinals 10-3, whereas the United States beat Finland 4-1. The United States and Canada have played for the gold medal 6 of the 7 times it has been in the Olympics. The United States has won the very first women's gold medal back in 1998 and then again in 2018. The team is highlighted by forward Hillary Knight, Amanda Kessel, Hannah Brandt, Danny Camarisi, Kelly Panic, and Lee Stecklin. And that's all the time we have for you today. Thank you for tuning in to Public Eye News. I'm Michael Cudahy.
And I'm Madeline Plattenberg, and we'll see you tomorrow on Public Eye News.
The preceding program was produced by WNMU-TV, Northern Michigan University Public Television, in studio.